Things could be worse. I'm not a fretter, but then there's the curse. Things could be better. My knuckles bruised and my shoulders cut.
Hello and welcome all to the Time Traveler's Tavern, where there's tales from it and other things. Yeah, I said things. Alright, I will be your navigator and captain, Deadpaw, taking you on this informative journey. Informative of what we still don't know. But that's why we have our wonderful net guru and all-around frumpy, colorful commentary provided by my good friend Toast.
I'm closer to white bread than rye.
Fair enough. And over to the other side, we have Mr.E. Not as an ecstasy. It's more of a pun on mystery, not Mr. and E. Alright, Mr.E. in the studio with us today.
Indeed.
Alright, today we're going to go down a traveling line of science and fiction, or science fiction, or fictional science, and all that kind of good stuff.
Effectively, as a society, we already kind of have done that when you think about it.
I'm going to point it out as evidence. YouTube and YouTube videos that are actually popular, and the most popular people on YouTube are idiots.
Or good at acting like idiots.
No, the ones that like hit themselves in the dick a lot and literally, I've watched these videos.
Oh, so basically,
I've had people,
the YouTube generation that has effectively become jackass.
Yeah, it's like, and I've watched some of these videos that people said, "Oh my god, this is so funny, this is amazing, this is great, this is genius," and I look at them and go, "How?
Yeah, I'm waiting.
How are you? Where's the humor here? There's none."
So
I apparently hold myself to a higher standard than apparently most humanity.
So this is the one piece of good advice in this whole section that I can find.
Did it say hit your computer and burn this?
No. If you don't think you're funny, observing humor from other things, not necessarily a bad idea. Okay? Emulating it, only with people who you know will get the joke. That's a subjective thing. This next one is actually not necessarily a bad piece of advice. It says, if you're willing to go to the full yard, maybe even sign up for an amateur comedy class.
No, that's a bad idea.
Well, not necessarily a bad idea. The thing about it is if you are socially inept and you don't think you're funny, signing up for an improv class, an acting class, may improve your skills socially.
I just like to point out amateur night at any comedy club.
Oh, believe me, it's indeed a horror show. But
Speaking of horror shows, the
Fingerprints.
no, well, besides that, no, I was gonna say
Lou Diamond Phillips.
I was gonna say the acting classes at one of the conventions,
Oh, yeah.
full of people who are trying to be better actors, but the advice they are being given
it's terrible advice.
or it's too simplistic, and it's not actually taking into account what they actually need to know to accomplish what they're trying to teach them.
It removes individuality to try and give a cookie cutter
okay, I see.
cookie cutter lesson that will effectively help people who already have the potential.
Okay.
And for that, a potential that's a little bit more broad and general strokes, where you have people that could actually be phenomenal at certain things given one-on-one direction and advice.
Or the right environment.
Yeah.
See, but that's my point, though, is that going to these things and failing at them is just as useful as being successful at them.
The best teacher in life is failure.
Exactly.
Hence why I'm so smart.
The best line of advice I ever heard was, a man can learn far more from a single defeat than he can from 1,000 victories.
Are we Sun Tzuing this?
I think that's not something Sun Tzu has said.
I know.
No. Actually, if I remember
Confucius
correctly...
say, man with hole in pocket feel cocky all day.
Actually, the exact place that I got that quote from, if I can remember correctly, is from Batman the Animated Series.
And you know something's wrong when you are taking your philosophical advice from Pac-Man.
No, Batman.
I was like, I said Pac-Man.
No, Batman.
I also heard Pac-Man, so...
No, Batman the Animated Series.
I'm picturing you as a yellow ball eating a bunch of white balls.
Yeah, no.
Don't worry, there's a cherry at the end for you.
And a salty pretzel.
Oh my.
Anyway,
That's a mouthful of soggy, salty goodness.
And back to your rapier wit.
Shing. Who's up for a little stab? Well, that was
Anyway.
I was not expecting the turn to move.
Yeah.
So-
the chair.
So it says, you'll be surprised at the results some wit and humor will get you with women.
Yeah, restraining orders.
Now, the thing about it is I have heard this stigma perpetuated that, a sense of humor is important to women. Except for the best advice, or the best parallel I've ever heard to it was a stand-up comedian who said, oh, yeah, stand-up comedians have great love lives. Not. You know what the biggest problem with women, when they say they like a guy with a sense of humor, is the fact that when they're mad at you, then they're like, you don't take anything seriously. Everything's a joke to you. Well, except that's the exact characteristic.
Well, here's the other side of this that you don't quite get either with a lot of people's and their understanding of things. The problem with having a good sense of humor and being an intelligent person, having a high intellect and all that kind of stuff, is when you make a joke, a woman does not want to feel, anyone really, this isn't just women, this is anybody.
Right.
They don't want to feel stupid.
Right.
So if you make a joke, and I make jokes, puns, remarks, comments all the time that people don't get.
Right. That's what that's what you're talking about.
That's the
the
other
thing
side
is-
of the sword there is then they feel stupid and they don't like feeling stupid. Nobody likes feeling stupid.
Right. What they should say is not
feel
necessarily or that they want a man who has a good sense of humor, but a man who is good at making them laugh. That's what they're actually after. Most people are actually after that. Someone who's good at making them laugh.
That's that moment of, now this is actually a
Brief
horrible
moment
thing.
of levity. Especially if they're having a bad day.
Now here's the horrible thing. It's like I can make anybody laugh. Just gotta get them in the bedroom first. No.
Hey, you remember that high road? When did you decide to take a shovel and dig a bigger gutter into it?
Well, the nitrous oxide arrived.
Speaking of laughing. And ether. Or,
There's nothing more depraved than man in the depths of an ether binge. Thompson.
I prefer to call it ether.
So,
and incorrect.
so,
I was gonna say, because of the depths
now
of your,
here's the one that,
so in depth.
that makes it all come for full circle and invalidates everything else. Social value is extremely powerful.
Money, 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 money.
Or let's face it, a woman who doesn't want to sit around with a guy in his apartment playing Xbox all day. They want to be with someone who is the life of the party wherever they go.
Alpha male theory.
I was just thinking about one of the guys I used to work with, because that is so not him. But him and his wife get along really well. Mm-hmm. But he is not the life of the party. He actually had, she's like, well, I'm going to go out with the girls. Have a nice day. He'll stay home.
He's a wallflower.
No, he doesn't like people at all.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If he gets drugged to a party, he just sits in a corner and leaves everyone alone, basically.
He'd probably rather sit in his car. Hey, it's a fun guy to talk to.
If you get past it. If he deems you worthy of talking to.
Right.
That's the
It's
thing.
one of those where he wants to, back to sense of humor, he wants to see if you're part of his audience. So they want to be with men who always seem to have a flock of both men and women crowding around them, trying to be a part of his exciting life. This is social value.
It's douchebaggery and basic alpha male theory again.
Exactly. Now the problem I have with this is the wording they use. They use the word social value.
Social value is not such a simple thing to.
They're using social value as a definer in the regard of someone who is easily socially acceptable being someone who has a higher value. And the problem with that is that that's,
subjective again.
well, not only that, but it's flawed. If you want to go with social value as a definition, someone who serves the community has a higher social value. Someone who, like a public servant or a volunteer.
I'm being stared at. I apparently volunteer my time. That's all I do.
The three of us do. each of us volunteers our time to...
We have so much social value, and we're like rapier wits, and like, oh my goodness, we're like the perfect catch. I'm like athletic. I could wear like a V-neck, and like, oh my goodness.
There's so many of these that could be applied to us that you look at and you go, and the first thing you go is, that's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. And it's all specifically based on subjectivity.
The biggest thing as far as attraction goes between any member of any gender towards any member of any sort of gender leaning is how you portray yourself. Doesn't matter what you are, who you are, what you have, all that kind of crap.
The mask you show others.
Yeah. It matters what you portray yourself as, whether it's actually you or not. Doesn't matter. It really, if you project the quote-unquote confidence, which confidence these days is actually just being a jerk,
right,
to everybody.
Well, the problem there is that so many people associate being confident with the I was going to say the jocular stereotype.
Yeah. Chest out. I'm a man.
That's not
Jersey Shore.
I say that's not jocular. Jocular means joking and funny.
Yeah.
Well, but that's what I'm saying.
Jock-ish.
And jock-ish.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, though.
That
Is
they have a cream for
the amalgamation of the two is what people keep saying that they want, and it's not the case.
Well, problem is, actually, like Toast keeps saying, it comes back to the Jersey Shore. It's the stupid alpha males that stand out and yell for attention and are constantly in somebody's face. And being that loud, boisterous knob, they get the attention. They get the...
Yeah, so do traffic cones.
Yeah. And there's not much
train
difference.
wrecks.
I was going to say, there's not much difference in the intelligence between them and traffic cone, except here's the biggest difference between them and a traffic cone. A traffic cone serves a purpose in society.
Indeed.
And we'll go here.
Is less orange?
It's less orange, and it is a form of protection.
I knew you were going that way. Some of them are a little bit rubbery.
Staphylococcus.
So here we go.
Sounds like a dinosaur.
This is the problem that I have.
It's very common, that dinosaur.
Here again,
A little bit cocky.
they basically gave up on giving
Any pretense of actual merit?
facts.
Okay.
Right. They gave a year and the universe they got it from. They didn't give a number as to sample size or anything like that. And yet,
Well, we done talked to this one dude over here, and he
Right,
said
right.
this is what happened.
So here's what it says. Here's an example. In a research carried out in 2010, a group of researchers from Duke University
Oh, Duke.
asked a group of heterosexual volunteers to rate the attractiveness of men and women who were photographed by themselves. The researchers then showed a second group of volunteers the pictures of the same men and women, but this time paired with a person of the opposite sex whom the volunteers were told were their exes. Their findings? The men and women who were photographed next to a quote-unquote hot ex were almost always rated as more attractive by the volunteers from the second group, even if they weren't rated as highly by the volunteers from the first group.
The problem with that already is you're comparing the scoring from one group to a scoring from another, even if you're averaging.
Right.
Let's say it's 10 people.
Yeah.
So you're comparing 10 people who said, okay, I think this person's attractive, versus another set 10 people who went, no, I think that person's attractive.
Well, no, what I think they did was they eliminated the sample size of their photos based on what they had more of.
I'm just saying it's you're taking a photo and having a group of people rate it.
Right.
But then it sounds like they're taking a separate group of people and rating a separate photo of the same person.
Kind of.
So you're having two groups rate two separate photos, and then comparing the ratings of those photos because the photos contain the same people.
Basically, sounds right, yeah.
So if I went and I took a picture of Scotland and said, does this look like a great place to visit? And asked you, and you went, oh yeah, it looks great. And I took a picture of, of Scotland, let's say on a sunny day, and asked the next person, and yeah, I know, the one day, and then said, does this look like a good place to visit? And they go, nah, I want to go there.
It's Scotland. Who wants to get there?
I've just asked two separate people to rate two separate photos.
No. Here's what the funnier one would is if you took a photo of the British Isles on a stormy day, a gray day, and then the one day that they got sun, and you got a picture or a better picture of Scotland on the gray day, but then on the clearer day, you got a picture of Wales and Scotland in the same frame.
But who'd want to go to Wales?
But that's what I'm saying, though.
It's like, oh, Scotland was great. Where are we going? Oh, Wales! No!
But this is
I don't even understand what they're saying. Why do they have two D's next to each other by an L and an F? What does that say?
Actually,
it says waffle. Dear Waffle House. No, you're in Belgium.
No. So how do you go about creating this quote-unquote social value and pre-selection?
Juxtaposition?
Well, you can start off small. Instead of focusing on going out alone and trying to pick up attractive women, start off by going out with the aim of meeting new and interesting people. Now, here again.
Where does somebody go if they don't want to go where there's people? I.e. bars, taverns, or things of the ilk.
No, the point I'm trying to bring up is the connection and application the parallels I could draw between the three of us and this stuff. As far as I know, each of us has effectively gone out with the assumption that perhaps today is a day that we will meet someone new and interesting, regardless of gender, regardless of preference, or to other genders.
I'm too cynical to think that I'm going to meet anyone interesting and new. I go out expecting to see old and boring. I should probably stop visiting nursing homes.
I kind of want to hit this button.
What is the button?
And the Humane Society. I hear that they're tired of you screwing the pooch. So, where was I going with this? Yes. Cultivate friendships with people who add value to your life.
Alright, so on that wonderful note of fact, validation, and verification, any other shuns we should add to here? No? Alright. Skipping over his thoughts here. We're going to farm this out, and Mr.E, would you like to bid adieu?
Until next time.
There you go. On a good web guru toast. What? Parting words.
If you're using a comb, make sure you go the right direction.
That would be a good parting word. Alright, and this is Captain, not of a Boeing, just of a dead paw. Thank you for joining the, what is this? Tales from the Time Traveler's Tavern? Apparently that's what we are. Thank you for joining. So that's it.
You've got to figure